Hello students, today we start a new topic in a tender and tender notice. Here topic is further clauses can be added in a tender notice along with a tender form, and here total 21 another clauses can be added with tender form. So one by one we discuss on it. First is earliest money. So earliest money mentioned above shall be deposited with Reserve Bank of India or a treasury under the head revenue deposit. In such a case, is Reserve Bank or a treasury challan must be affixed with tender, and in the form of National Saving Certificate, National Deposit Certificate, National Planning Certificate, Government Security or Post Office Saving Bank account in the name of tenderer, and duly plugged with in a favor of the tenderer, and cross bank draft or a fixed deposit receipt of a scheduled bank guaranteed by the Reserve Bank of India held in the name of the tenderer, and duly plugged in the favor of tenderer. Now second clauses is a tender without earnest money. So tender unaccompanied by the fully earnest money in a requisite form will under no circumstances will be entertained, and will summar, uh, summarily be rejected without any further reference to the tenderer. Now third clause is a security deposit. So in respect of the successful tenderer, we have a deposit earnest money as mentioned in a tender notice. The earnest money will be covered as a part of the security deposit, and additional amount of a security deposit shall be deducted from the running bill at a 10% of the estimated cost of work put to tender. Now fourth clause is a refund of a EMD to unsuccessful tender. So after comparative statement is prepared and checked, the EMD of all the tenderer other than the three lowest tenderers shall be written on application. EMD of second and third lowest tenderer could be written after receipt of final decision accepting authority regarding awarded of a job to first lowest tenderer. Now fifth one clauses is a time of completion. So the time allowed for a completion of the work shall be known from the date of work order. This is essence of contractor. Now sixth clauses is a notice in newspaper. So the notice of a tender published in the newspaper will also be treated as a part of a parcel of a tender document in a prescribed form. And seventh clause is a validity of a rate quoted by the tenderer. So a tenderer shall be eligible to withdraw his tender only if he fails to receive acceptance and a work order within 19 days from the date of opening the tender. And if tenderer withdraw his tender within this period of 19 days without giving justifiable reason for such a withdrawal to the satisfaction of authority accepting the tender, his security money shall be forfeited. Now eighth clause is the canvassing. So canvassing is a connection with the tender is strictly prohibited, and the tender submitted by the contractor who resorts to canvassing will be liable to summary rejection. Now ninth one is a quotation of rate. So for a priced item of a work, the tenderer shall be quoted in a figure as well as in a word his rate at par or a percentage above or below the rate shown in a schedule of item with rate and probably quantities is a quotation of rate, and the quantity of the used material schedule may vary to any extent during the execution of work, and no extra claim will be entertained. Now 10th is a sign of a tender paper. So all the pages of a printed tender form, tender document, correction slip, etc. shall be fully signed by the contractor at the foot or every page on a right hand corner, and any tender not bearing signature of the contractor on all the document of the tender is liable to be rejected, and signature on a third page of a printed tender form must be properly witnessed in a allotted space for the purpose. Now next is 11th clause is a near relative of a contractor. So the contractor shall not be permitted to tenderer for a work in the circle of a superintending engineer in which his near relative is posted as a divisional account or an officer in any capacity between the grade of a chief engineer to assistant engineer, and he shall also intimate the name of the person who are working with him in any capacity, and who are relative of any uh, uh, gazetted officer in a department. Now 12th clauses is a exception for a payment of EMD. So a tenderer who hold the requisite fixed security with the department will not however be required to pay the EMD, and in such a case the tenderer must clearly mention the memorandum of a page number 2 of a printed form that he holds such a fixed security. Now 13 clause is a list of work in a hand. So the contractor shall be submitted list of work that are in a hand or ongoing, giving in a particular of name of work, name of particulars of a division where work is being executed, and amount of work, and a percentage of work completed. Now 14 clauses is a list of machinery. So the tenderer shall furnish along with the tenderer a list of machinery including the roller, tools, plants, and that he process which he will utilize in the work. Now 15th clause is a submission of tender. So complete tender document are to be placed in a cover and duly sealed, and superscribing on the cover the name of the work, the name and address of the tenderer. The seal cover contain the tender document is to be submitted within the specified date and time, and this shall, this shall be done by inserting the same in the tender box, and each section should be tendered separately, and one seal cover must contain more than one tender. Now 16th clause is opening of tender. Now the tender will be open in a public at a blank on a blank in this office of the blank, and rates will be read out in the presence of the tenderer or their authorized representative as are present, but if they fall in attending during the opening of the tender on the scheduled date and time, tender will be open in their absence, and no subsequent objection would be entertained under any circumstances whatsoever. And next is clauses 17 number clause is acceptance of a tender. So acceptance of a tender will rest with the tenderer who does not bind himself to accept the lowest tender and reserve the right to reject any or all the tender received without assigning any person whatsoever. The accepting authority also reserve the right to distribute the work to more than one tenderer at the rate accepted by him, and the successful tender shall not have any claim cut, for a work work for to complete the tender work. Now 18th claim is a rate to include all the taxes. So the rate quoted should be for a completed item of work and inclusive of sales tax and royalty and all other central and local taxes exist or that may be imposed in a future. Now 19th clause is a change of address. So the tenderer must keep the department information of any change of address during the currency of tender or work in his own interest and obtaining acknowledgement thereof. Now 20th clause is a commencement of work. So the contractor shall have to start the work within 10 days from the date of issue of work order to commencement the work. And 21 clause is a part recovery of income tax. So income tax 2% of the gross amount will be recovered from the all the bills of contractor in terms of section 194C of the Income Tax Act 1961 of Government of India. Now next topic we start quotation and tender. So already we discuss on it what is quotation and tender, but topic is continued. So we start a quotation. So what is quotation? The rate quoted by the contractor for a work and supply in responses to an invitation from executive engineer or a subdivisional engineer are called a quotation. So the rate are quoted or a simple paper on a simple paper with required number of non-judicial stamp affixed on it, and no earnest money is required with a quotation, and quotation are invited in a piece of work system allotted of work. Now next is a tender. So a tender is an offer in a writing for executing a certain specified work or for supplying specified material subject to certain terms and conditions like rate, time limit, etc. And the construction of work is usually done by the contract. Sealed tender are invited and the work is usually entrusted to the lowest tender. While inviting the tender, the bill of quantity, detailed specification, condition of contract and plans and drawing are supplied to contractor who wish to quote their rate on a payment of requisite tender cost. And depending upon the types of tender types of contract, tender may be divided into number of parts like lump sum tender, item rate tender, cost plus tender, percentage rate tender, labor tender and demolition tender. Now next topic we start pre-qualification of a contractor. So in India the system of a pre-qualification of a bidder has gained importance, especially with many massive projects being financed by the World Bank, and it has now become common practice for any major or even medium work. Irrigation work cost above 50 lakhs, tunnel, underground structure, etc. are executed by pre-qualification of contractor. So under this process, instead of inviting the tender publicity, the intending tender can be invited to apply for a selection and registration as a qualified tender. For this purpose, the employer or his engineer or architect publish an advertisement in a leading newspaper, and the intending bidder are supplied with pre-qualification document. And to review the qualification of the tenderer, the information provided by them in the prescribed form supplied to them for this purpose include the past experience, major work on hand, technical personnel engaged, and financial capacity, equipment on, and any other relative information. Now next we start a criteria for a pre-qualification. So here main 5 criteria. First is a financial strength, second is a past 5 year experience, third one is a technical personnel engaged, and fourth one is a construction plan and equipment, and fifth one is a other consideration such as quality control standards and ISO certificate. So the first 4 points carry nearly 90% and the last generally 10%. The qualify the applicant must score generally at least 60% of each of first 4 category mentioned above, and 70% of total point. So it's a criteria for a pre-qualification. Now modes of submission of tender. So the tender, while submitting the tender, is directed to submit the document in a 4-seal envelope. So in a 4-seal envelope, one by one we discuss on it. So in envelope number 1, so the first envelope clearly mentioned envelope number 1 shall contain the following documents. So first is this envelope shall contain EMD in the form of indicated in a notice invited tender. Now in envelope number 2, the second envelope clearly marked envelope number 2 shall contain the following documents. So first is a covering letter for the offer, second is a special features that contractor feels are worth mention about his office, third one is the solvency certificate from a bank authority, fourth one is the latest income tax clearance certificate, fifth one is a list of work similar nature and magnitude carried out by the tenderer, sixth one is a detail of a plant and machinery available which the tenderer proposes to use in this work, and detailed technical personnel engaged by the tenderer complete the detail of works in hand at the time of submission of tender. Now in envelope number 3, clearly mention envelope number 3 on envelope, and shall contain the following shall contain the price tender from with a signature of tenderer, and in envelope number 4, so the this shall the large envelope of a acquisite size, it shall contain the above mentioned envelope mark number envelope 1, 2 and 3, and this envelope shall properly seal and shall be endorsed on the outside face the tender for a NAM project. These envelopes shall be deposited or mailed by registered AD so as to reach the office of executive engineer on or before the date and time. Now next topic we start opening of a tender. So the sealed tender receive are to be opened in the presence of the contractor or their representative tender for the work at a time, date and place of the tender notice, tender notice in and the division account should also be requested to be present on a such a occasion where possible. So the officer opening the tender has to read out the rate of offered in case of item rate and a percentage rate tender, and amount in case of lump sum tender, for information of all those present. And the following procedure should be followed by the officer. Here I generally use the executive officer follow the procedure while opening the tender. So first is the envelope mark withdrawal are generally open first. So after a tender is submitted and before it is accepted, if any tender has withdrawn his offer and if the notice of withdrawal is found in order, the envelope of such a tender will be removed and not open of the valid tender. The envelope will be open as follow. And second is the outer envelope mark number 4 shall be opened in the office of an executive engineer in the presence of a representative of a tenderer who choose the remaining present. Before opening the envelope is verified for a proper seal and it is signed by the executive engineer and divisional account and representative of the respective tenderer. And the third one is the envelope mark as a number 1 contain the EMD shall be open, and if the EMD is not found as a prescribed, the tenderer shall be returned unopened to representative of a concerned tenderer if present. Now fourth one is the envelope mark as a number 2 contain the covering letter and other document as required shall then be opened. The details shall be synchronized and comments or condition which have a financial implication shall be evaluated by the engineer or architect of the owner, and based on the recommendation of evaluation of engineer or architect, the owner may discuss comment and condition with the tenderer. Now fifth one is the envelope mark number 3 contain the sealed price tender shall then be opened on a separate date which shall be intimated on the representative of the tenderer who are present. And as it is desired to complete the formality as quickly as possible, it is suggested that the senior representative of the tenderer having the authority to take the decision may remain present at the time of opening the tender for a discuss thereafter. Now next is scrutiny of a tenders. So scrutiny of a tender is after the tender have been opened, they should be properly scrutinized with respect to the following item. So here list of the tender received with a competitive statement as tabulated below competitive statement. So here name of the firm, amount of tenderer, position and remarks. So here ABC different types of the form is given, and departmental estimate is 38,20,500 rupees, and here ABCD 4 form is fill up the tender. So here lowest tender is 38,90,700 rupees. So here in a position we mark as a lowest tender. Then after above the lowest tender figure we write as a second position, third position, fourth position. So one by one we mark the position, and then after if any remark is given, so write in a fourth column as a remark, and it should be check and verify that each tender is duly signed and contain the address of the contractor. It should be sealed whether the contractor has a claim any extra percentage of rate over and above the quoted rate, has offered any rebate according the tender amount should be modified, and in case of the lump sum contract not likely to involve any extra, it is of a little or no importance to the lowest to know how the difference bidder have worked out the price as a tender. In such a cases, contractor may award it to be lowest bidder. And in case of the measurement contract, the cost is bidden on an estimated quantity mentioned in a schedule. As these quantity are approximate and likely to vary, the total amount tender is not to be taken as the criterion for the awarded of the contract. And it should be that the contractor has not altered the term and condition of the tender, and the same time he has not mentioned some other terms and condition. Now next is acceptance of tender. So it's a important point of the tender and tender notice chapter. So after investigation of the comparative statement, the lowest tender shall be accepted as a rule by the competent authority. If for any reason, economical or otherwise, the lowest tender is not accepted, reasons should be recorded confidentially, and reference shall be made to the tender committee or next higher authority for order as to which of the contractor the work should be given. And before accepting a tender, the engineer makes sure that successful contractor means lowest tenderer is in order, and also ensure that his resource, equipment, experience and sureties are genuine and satisfactory. And thereafter the engineer notifies the successful contractor of acceptance of his tender, and that the formal contractor between him the owner has to be signed and specify date and place. Here one table is given: power of the officer of a central public work department, PWD department, of a acceptance tender for a contract as below. So chief engineer and additional chief engineer, so full power for accepting the tender. If the superintendent engineer, so maximum means up to 15 lakh power of accepting the tender, and executive engineer 1 lakh rupees power for accepting. And then after executive engineer in a upgraded division, so maximum 2 lakh rupees power of accepting the tender, and assistant engineer, so rupees up to 10,000 accepting the tender. So here in the next topic we discuss about the rejection of the lowest tender. So here in a some of the circumstances lowest tender also be rejected. So a list of the some of the circumstances is given. So when the tender is if informal and not submitted in the form sold by the department or not supported by EMD, and second is if it exceed the sanctioned amount of the work. Third one is if there is any condition or unusual character, and fourth point is if there is any uncertainty. Fifth one is if it exceed the amount up to which he is empowered to accept the tender. And sixth point is if adequate competition and fair rate are not received. Seventh is if contractor has quoted abnormally low rate. Eighth one is if any provision infringes any standard rules or order of higher authority. And ninth one is if any of the pages of the tender are removed or replaced. and if they tender mark any ensure. 11th point is if all the correction and addition or pasted slips are not signed by the tenderer. 12th is if the tender has inadequate finance. 13 is if tender has inadequate staff and inadequate plan and equipment. So here we complete our chapter tender and tender notice. Thank you.